Thanks for checking out the PsycHope Self-Help podcast, now on YouTube. Our podcast launched on most major podcast directories back in December of 2022. And as of December 2023, we're making our episodes available for all the lovely people who prefer listening to podcasts on YouTube. There may be times when the dates don't match up, so thank you in advance for your understanding. Please refer to the video description for links to any resources discussed during the show. We'll be sure to point you in the right direction. Earlier this holiday season, the PsycHope Self-Help podcast hosted the 12 Days of Holiday Stress Relief Audio Summit. For 12 days straight, I had the honor of interviewing compassionate women, all thought leaders with a background in mental health, with the goal of understanding how they see holiday stress impact the women they serve. And I was sure to ask for all their tips on how to navigate the many forms that holiday stress can take. If you weren't able to join us live, then I have some good news for you. All the talks from the summit are waiting for you in our private podcast. Just head on over to psychope.com/12 days to get access to the 12 Days of Holiday Stress Relief Audio Summit private podcast. There's still plenty of time to listen to all the interviews and benefit from the insights and tips that were shared. Let us guide you through a transformative journey, helping you navigate the holiday hustle and reclaim the joy of the season. Again, please visit psychope.com/12 days to get your access to the summit, or just click the link in the show notes. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the PsycHope Self-Help podcast, a space for women where psychology illuminates paths to healing, hope, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Jennifer McManus, a clinical psychologist, and I'll be your host. Each episode, we'll explore a different way to use psychology to enhance emotional wellness. Hope you enjoy the show. Hello, it's episode 14 and you're tuned in to the 12 Days of Holiday Stress Relief. Each day we're exploring a different way to cope with holiday stress. These are daily quick tip episodes. And so I hope anyone who celebrated the winter solstice in some way yesterday had a magical time. And of course, continued Happy Hanukkah to anyone listening who practices the Jewish faith. I also hope you found value in yesterday's episode, which was the 10th day of holiday stress relief, and feel better prepared to manage any travel-related stress you might experience this holiday season. Maybe you've already done some traveling for the holidays, and if so, I hope you've made it safely to your destination. Now, we typically think of the holiday season as a time to spend precious moments with loved ones. Holiday movies and TV specials often take it a bit further, though. They paint those pictures of a perfect Christmas where everyone gets along beautifully and no one makes a misstep. The truth is, though, for many people, difficult family dynamics are the number one source of holiday stress. Some of our social engagements may involve family members or other people with whom there's some history of conflict, problematic communication, or other challenging relationship dynamics. So, on the 11th day of holiday stress relief, we're going to explore a few strategies to help us navigate the stress involved with these difficult family dynamics. Before diving into the topic for today, though, I want to provide a brief clarification. This quick tip episode has a very specific focus. Just like with the other days during the 12 days of holiday stress relief, the emphasis is on managing our stress. The tips I'm going to provide are not about trying to resolve family conflict that took years to develop in a 5 to 7 minute episode. So just like it's helpful to have reasonable expectations for the holiday season as a whole, I thought it would be wise to encourage reasonable expectations for this episode. I was also concerned that without this preface, my suggestions could possibly be interpreted as minimizing the complexities of tension within families, when in reality it's quite the opposite. I have such respect for the intricacies involved with resolving this kind of friction that I think with even an hour-long podcast episode, we'd only be scratching the surface. When it comes to putting in the work needed to resolve long-standing family conflict, it can often feel like it gets worse before it starts to get better. This could actually make the holidays more stressful. While it may be true that some tough conversations need to happen eventually, and maybe even over the holidays if that's right for some listeners, their family, and their unique circumstances, it's also totally understandable to postpone that deep work until a later, less stressful and busy time. It does not have to happen over the holidays. So now that this gentle alert has been provided, let's get into some ways to manage stress when encountering difficult family dynamics during the holidays. The first tip to consider is the value of acceptance, but not just any type of acceptance. Radical acceptance. So often we can make a stressful situation even worse on ourselves by fighting the reality of the situation. We might be fighting reality if we find ourselves asking questions like, why does, insert your family member's name here, have to say those sorts of things? Or, I wish my family didn't always XYZ. The reality is the family member does make those unhelpful remarks. And the family does do XYZ. When we don't accept the reality of a situation, we can stay stuck in that struggle and prolong our suffering during an already stressful time. Now, radical acceptance does not mean we condone, appreciate, or even like these aspects of reality, in this case, those difficult family interactions. But with radical acceptance, we're letting go of the disbelief that we're even experiencing problematic communication or other challenges in our family. Once we accept the situation, we can better chart a course through the stressful experience. Radical acceptance allows us to focus on the factors that are under our control. Our behavior and the words we speak are under our control. The behaviors of others and the words they speak are outside of our control. Many people find the serenity prayer to be helpful when working on radical acceptance. In case you're not familiar with it, the serenity prayer goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. In addition to practicing radical acceptance, we can also be proactive with communication and activities with family members to help reduce the potential for negative conversations. Reminiscing about good memories from holidays past or discussing common interests can be useful approaches. Perhaps pulling in the topic from day 3 of holiday stress relief. Gratitude can be helpful as well. Here, the family has the opportunity to appreciate the good in each other and express it to them. Engaging in shared activities like playing a game or watching a holiday movie can also be ways to spend time together that may reduce the likelihood of negative interactions. Even when we try to be proactive with communication and activities, other family members may not be on board with our efforts to have a peaceful holiday experience. When this happens, it's understandable that you may need a little time and space to yourself. Perhaps to practice a relaxation strategy like deep calm breathing or mindfulness, or to engage in some self-care activities that you know help you to feel better. Well, I hope you found these tips for managing the stress related to difficult family dynamics over the holidays to be helpful. Like I mentioned, this is a delicate topic with many layers to it. Today was just about managing the stress related to difficult family dynamics, not about resolving the underlying conflict. Please be sure to follow the show so you can catch tomorrow's final day of the 12 days of holiday stress relief. Thanks for listening. The information shared on the PsycHope Self-Help podcast is done so with the understanding that it does not constitute professional help, nor is it a substitute for professional help. If you think you might benefit from more than self-help, there are resources listed in the show notes.